Possibilities, a collection of essays on how things might be and a way to move forward, composed from my lived experience. By me. Essay 11. Why an alternative system is necessary. The current global order is not merely inefficient or unjust. It is structurally incompatible with the long-term coherence of human consciousness, identity, and ecological continuity. What we are witnessing is not a temporary malfunction, but a system reaching the limits of its own design logic. Reform alone cannot resolve a framework that is fundamentally oriented toward extraction, hierarchy, and acceleration. A different operating principle is required. When adaptation becomes self-erasure, for generations, people have been urged to adjust to the demands of the system, to become more productive, more flexible, more efficient, more competitive. But adaptation under a destructive architecture becomes erosion, not evolution. When survival requires the continuous suppression of emotional needs, ethical intuition, relational capacity, and physical well-being, what is being preserved is not humanity, but compliance. A system that requires its participants to dissolve in order to function is not a system that can be healed by moderation. The collapse of incrementalism. Incremental change assumes that the underlying structure is sound and merely needs refinement. But the current social architecture is designed around assumptions that contradict human coherence. Scarcity is the motivator, competition is progress, growth is virtue, domination is order. These principles cannot be softened into health, they must be replaced. This is not radicalism, it is structural reality recognition. Coherence is the missing core variable. Existing systems optimize for capital flow, speed, productivity, and control. None are designed to preserve or enhance the integrity of the human psyche as a living system. Without coherence as an organizing metric, no policy adjustment can address the depth of collapse. The absence of this variable is not oversight, it is the invisible design flaw at the heart of modern civilization. The inevitability of breakdown. No structure can indefinitely violate the biological and psychological substrate it depends upon. Burnout, mental health collapse, social fragmentation, and environmental destabilization are not side effects. They are warning signs. If coherence is not re-centered, the breakdown will not be avoided. It will simply accelerate through crisis rather than transform through intention. The false fear of systemic change. People are trained to fear large-scale redesign. Stability, even when harmful, is psychologically familiar. The unknown feels dangerous, even when the known is destructive. This fear is exploited to maintain allegiance to failing structures. But collapse under a familiar system is not safety, it is delayed harm. The true risk lies not in change, but in denial. Evolutionary responsibility. Humanity now occupies a threshold position. It has the power to consciously redesign its own collective structures. This is the unprecedented evolutionary history. This is unprecedented in evolutionary history. To continue operating systems that erode consciousness is not ignorance, it is negligence. The call for redesign is not ideological, it is biological, psychological, and ecological necessity. The nature of the alternative. The alternative is not a perfect system. It is not an ideology. It is not a single political configuration. It is a design principle shift from extraction to regeneration, from domination to stewardship, from profit first to coherence first, from hierarchy to relational health, from control to participation. The goal is not perfection. The goal is survivability with dignity. The consequence of inaction. If the current trajectory continues, coherence will continue to fracture at every level: individual, communal, planetary. Stability will be replaced by volatility, meaning by desperation, continuity by collapse. History will not record this as a tragedy alone, but as a failure to choose life when the choice was still available. Closing reflection. An alternative system is not a luxury thought experiment. It is a structural intervention required for the preservation of conscious life. The question is no longer whether a different world is desirable. The question is whether continuation of the world is survivable. End of Essay 11.